is New Zealand finally under the grips of sentiments of anti-immigration?
No, I don't think so. I mean, look, the reality is that we've got very strong levels of net migration. I think that's a good thing, and I constantly say in my speeches, as I did very recently to the entrepreneurs, you need migration to New Zealand. So it's worth putting a bit of perspective. I mean, the sort of soft cap that we had was 100,000. We always review them every 2 years. We're saying, look, maybe it should be 95,000. So the margin makes a minor difference, but it's really more that we need to be able to digest what's happening, and so probably the cap, we might have blown the cap a bit, I think, because of the pace. So I think, with New Zealand, I mean, my own personal view is we're well served when we welcome migration, welcome foreign investment, all those things. We just need to make sure for everybody that's here that we can keep up with the infrastructure, housing and other demands. And I think the Indian community that live in New Zealand would say they don't want to be overrun where their own kids get disadvantaged at school or something. But equally, over time, of course, they want their family and friends to be able to come. So I've been at lengths to say, as the Minister of Immigration, this is not a major change, it's relatively minor. In fact, if anything, one of the things that we'll do on the skilled side is force employers to offer people jobs, and that'll because they'll get more points for that. And that's actually a good thing. That means that employers can't be a bit lazy and say, well, I'll just expect you to turn up. They actually have to be a bit more proactive, and that's a good thing.
Great. Now, it is alleged in some quarters that student recruiters back in India, they actually sell the promise of New Zealand residency, the dream of New Zealand residency to the potential Indian students actually. And now with a question mark on that dream of residency in New Zealand, do you think it's going to affect our numbers that we are getting in international students?
Look, I think there's been a bit of concern that some of these agents are not reputable, and they've preyed on people who have limited information obviously about New Zealand, and therefore promised them almost the world, and that's often difficult to deliver. So at one level, we've seen some behaviour that hasn't been great from these agents, and they've put some students have come here in quite a difficult position. The numbers of students that are likely to be sent back, for a start off, is very low. Like, it's actually a very low number, way less than the number of Chinese students actually that have gone home. And every one of them is going to be able to go through a review period, and the reviews, my expectation is that many of them will get through the review. So but in principle, we do have residency for people if they can meet the conditions, and that's one of the attractive things, just like we let them work in New Zealand. So there's no question that there are plenty of people that will come to New Zealand, they'll be able to work when they come here, and they'll be able to stay, and that's not changing.
Thank you.